Colleagues, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, too.
Welcome,
Good
welcome.
afternoon.
I still remember the people who were we were together yesterday. Esther Kitoko, you were there. Jane Muchiri, you were there. Now, can you ask members? At least we are beginning in the next 3 minutes. The next 3 minutes,
Okay.
we are going to start. And today we are going to learn a lot. So get prepared. And I expect full house. Yesterday we were having only 30 members instead of 47. So can we ask our colleagues to come? People say finishing is as good as starting. So I can name the people who have registered or those people who are present. It's a privilege actually. Anthony Mwangi, you are there.
Yeah.
Bela Kireti, I'm not calling, it's not roll call, but it is it's good to name you because coming early is also a privilege. Charles Njue, Tipora, Kanyora, Esther Kitoko, Evelyn Timothy, Faith Karimi, Jackson Mureu, Jane Mushiri, Jerusha Wamboi. So ask members, let them get the privilege of me calling them. You can remember a time when so we're having John Kakunju, John Kakunju, Margaret Nyaka, Masi Nyakio, Nancy Ngari, Peter Nyamu, Robert Maina, Rose Mbogo, I'm missing these names. Rose Mbogo, Stanley Kinani, Simon Munene, Willie Matenge. At least today I'm happy I'm getting new people. So now the time has reached and we want to begin. My director, you can now pull down the music, the background music. Thank you. Thank you. Now, members who have come, welcome. I'm seeing Rose, Johan is up. And I'm really requesting somebody to pray. I don't know whether, but the hand has disappeared. So can we have a member, particularly somebody who fellowship today, you can share even one word and pray for us. A volunteer, please. Any volunteer? We want to start with prayer as we also wait for members to join in. You can unmute. Anybody can unmute. I believe that is enabled. You can unmute. Yes. Your voice is too low. It was a tester. I don't know who is speaking. Introduce yourself and then pray. Okay. Is it Florence? I don't know who is actually talking.
I'm still there, sir.
Oh yeah. So you want to pray?
I was giving chance to someone else today.
Okay, okay, yeah. So we are waiting for that person to take. And I thought it was a challenge. Maybe somebody is having a challenge of unmuting, but that should not be the case.
Florence, are you the one who prayed yesterday?
Yeah,
Or you are the elder? You're the church elder?
yeah.
And
I want to give out your name. You will play during the closing ceremony. So when
It's
you hear
okay.
your name, you will play.
Yeah.
I'm giving out your name.
Okay.
so I'm happy you will bless other people. Yes. Now, can we have somebody, a volunteer, please? These people, and today I expect a full participation. You know, it was a challenge yesterday. Some people were in the farm, others were in the market. But today, I believe you are relaxing and listening to us. Yes. Faith, Karimi, welcome. Just unmute and pray for us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Let's pray. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we thank you, we bless your name for this gracious time that you have given unto us, oh dear Lord. We thank you, Lord, even for this section that you are going to start, oh dear Father. We are praying for that you give us a good starting and even a good ending in the name of Jesus Christ. We are also praying for our facilitators, oh dear Lord. They have worked tirelessly, dear Father, to take us through this course. I pray that you may bless them abundantly, dear Lord. You meet them at the point of their needs and according to your riches in glory and according to their heart desires in the name of Jesus Christ. We are praying for a good starting and even a good ending. Even those that have not joined us, dear Lord, we pray that, Father, you may enable them to be able to join us so that, Lord, we may work as a team. And it is in Jesus' holy name we do pray, believe, and give thanks.
Amen.
Amen.
Be blessed, Faith. Thank you for that good prayer. Now, colleagues, today we are having activities, quite a number of activities. One, we want to begin with a recap on yesterday's reviews of the two units. Then thereafter, we shall get to unit 6. And then after that, we shall take you through some of the requirements, maybe requirements for completion of this course, that presentation of a reflective channel, and also what we call significant change. So that is also one of the requirements that you will be expected to undertake so that you qualify for this particular course and certification. So, and then later on also we shall share a link that we are going to be taken to a closing ceremony where we are going to meet our county directors of the counties that are involved in this training this time. And then we are also going to meet our CEO, Kemi. And then we have also gotten a visitor from Belgium who is with us here. So we shall also hear her because he's the one who actually initiated this project increase. So it is a privilege to be at that particular end because we shall be able to interact and even hear words of encouragement and the information that will really inform us on why this program you were to undertake. And of course, you have to take also consider yourself privileged because you've been sponsored, and at the same time, you are going to get a very beautiful certificate, and your institution will also register that improvement. So thank you so much. Without wasting time, let's do a reflection of yesterday's work. And I'll ask my brother Samuel to share a statement that will guide you on how to respond. So Sammy, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Ngetich. Good afternoon once again. I would like to load the Slido. So as usual, just go to the chat box, open the Slido. Some people yesterday, they just aired their statement on chat box. Just open the Slido and then type on the text box your hands. I hope the question is there. Just go on the chat box, open Slido. It will give you an option to type.
Okay, you can be able to now see the Slido, and the question says, mention two take home points from yesterday's sessions on effective resource management and learner and teacher wellness or welfare. So for each case, you can be able to share. Now you can type. I will be able to see your response and even mention them. I think you will also be able to see from your end the responses that other members are giving. So I'm waiting, yeah. Somebody is saying it's a good course, but actually that is overall, but what have you taken home? What have you taken home? Two are typing, I'm waiting for those responses. There is effective procurement procedures, thank you. There is a procurement on, procedure on a procurement. That is good. That is on effective resource management. Yes, good governance skills in management. That is still in effective resource management. I'm waiting for response. Make sure you make an attempt. That is the essence of participating in online. Yes, I'm waiting. 2 people are typing. 3 people are typing. Let's get your response. Thank you. Unethical malpractices. This is also in effective resource management. There are quite some issues here. We are having leadership, position, utilize, mobilize, resources, unethical malpractices. Yes. We are having procedures to be followed in procurement. I don't know, is it, that's a, Samuel, that is not the best way you're presenting it. I don't know what is happening. Something. Huh? Okay. So what we can say, leadership in all aspects, effective resource management, following of public procurement procedures, utilization, risks were also one of the key items that we discussed, risk management. And we realized there are so many risks actually facing our schools. While we were talking of the fire case that arose in a primary school, now we also heard about Isiolo girls. So you realize our schools are facing a lot of risks. Any other? I'm still waiting for response. So far, so good. Somebody is talking of good cause. It was good to mention what was good in that good cause. Any other? Let me go to your, because possibly some people might have gotten lost to the charts. Thank you, nobody have gone to the chat. I think we used the Slido, polling question and answer. Yes, so they are there. Let me check. Thank you. In fact, they are around 7. There are 7 responses on the chat. Maybe people are having a challenge in that. So in the chat, we are hoping to be a good team builder, risk management, good. Documents used in financial management, yes. I understood the steps involved in procurement process, thank you. Then there was the course will be in child and teachers and quality assurance welfare, yes. Psychosocial support for learners and teachers program, yes. Compliance with the procurement process, thank you. Effective resource allocation, yes. Factors affecting transition to JSS, good. Good skills and knowledge acquired in procurement, to manage our institution, good. So thank you so much. Thank you for that. For that response, I think it was, at least we can pick that you're able to learn something. And in fact, all that you have forgotten and this that you have picked, I think that is the knowledge you have gained. So thank you for that. Today, we are going to get more and we are going to be taken through by my co-facilitator, Rebecca Muriuki, on Unit 6. And therefore, let me welcome her so that she can be able to take you through. Welcome, Madam Rebecca.
Thank you, Mr. Barako.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barakwang, for that welcome. I want to share the screen. Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Madam.
Good afternoon, Madam Rebecca.
Okay, thank you, welcome.
Thank you.
I will be your facilitator this afternoon. I will take you through the review of institutional governance. And once again, I know you have completed the unit, and we are reviewing it so that in case there is anything that you would want to review also, whatever is submitted, you can submit again. You can review and resubmit, and also to help you or to remind you on what we learned so that you can also apply when you get back to your institutions. So the unit was on institutional governance. And institutional governance, we said that it constitutes of various internal processes and also legal frameworks that help us manage the institutions so that we are able to realize or to achieve the outcomes or the targets that we have for our institutions. So institutional governance is a unit that we are going to review in this way. We will look at the legal policy framework provisions for junior school, and that is for 20 minutes. We shall also look at the functions of junior school management committee for 15 minutes. And also we will look at institutional-based quality assurance. This one we will do it in breakout rooms. So we will break for 15 minutes into our groups. We go discuss with our colleagues. Then we come back. And then the 5 groups, each group will be given time to give feedback. Each group might take 5 minutes, so as to use 20 minutes. Then extended learning activities. It is one, we will look at it for a few minutes, and then we conclude. So after this presentation, we will have somebody coming to take you through reflective journal and also the most significant change that has happened as a result of going through this course. So that is how we are going to carry out this review. And these are the areas that we covered. The first thing that we looked at is we looked at legal and policy framework provisions for junior school. And we find that in education, we have laws that govern the operations of the education system. And it is important as education managers, we be familiar with those laws that govern education, because they are the ones that will guide us in managing those institutions. We know that in the school, we have to ensure that we supervise the curriculum. It's important that we be able to know what will guide us in supervising this implementation of the curriculum, the documents that will guide us in ensuring that the right curriculum is being implemented, and also to know how we are going to manage the people who are in the school, who are in our institutions, because we find that we have many people in our institutions. We have the teachers, we have the runners, and we have the non-teaching staff. It is important that we know the legal documents that guide us, because we know that we are supposed to take care of them. We also have the stakeholders, the Ministry of Education. We should know that we are responsible for all the stakeholders. And if anything happens in that institution, the documents are the ones that will be followed in determining what should be done. So it is important that we know that we have the legal policy frameworks. That is the laws that govern operations of the education system. And we know that there are several, and we will look at them when it comes to mentioning the various legal and policy frameworks. And maybe we'll give you some time to tell us which are these documents and what they contain. Also, we will look at leadership competencies for management of junior school. There are various competencies that an education manager requires to be able to manage the institutions that we are having, the junior school that we are having. We know that we are living in the 21st century, and therefore also, as education managers, we are supposed to acquire the 21st century skills. So it is important that we know that we have the 21st century skills, such as communication and collaboration, that we should have. We should be able to problem solve. Digital literacy is another competency that we should have. So we are supposed to know that we have various competencies that we should have, leadership competencies, so that we are able to lead our institutions, because we find that our schools will be as good as the education managers that we have. Also, we shall look at institutional-based quality assurance, that is IBQA. And this is whereby we need to ensure that we assess how our schools are in terms of various aspects, in terms of leadership, in terms of implementation of curriculum, in terms of the welfare of learners. We shall look at all this. So before the quality assurance officers come from the ministry or from the Teacher Service Commission, it is important that we put in place institutional-based quality assurance. And we are the heads. So we are the people who are going to head the institutional-based quality assurance of our schools, to quality assure the infrastructure. Before they come to our schools, we need to know whether the infrastructure is in the right, it is okay, that is, it is in the right condition. Again, even though we are not going to look at it, also data management is your work. We should ensure that we manage the data that is in our institution. We find that we receive a lot of data from for example, the parents, from the learners, from the teachers, from the non-teaching staff, data on enrollment, data on exams, all that data is in our hearts, and we are supposed to keep it in custody. We are supposed to protect that data. So again, good governance practices. It is our responsibility to ensure that in our schools there is good governance. We know that good governance is very important for our schools to be successful. We ensure that there is accountability, there is integrity. All those good governance practices are in place. So I want us to move to the activities. The first activity, which is on legal and policy framework provisions for junior school. This activity will use Slido. My colleague, Mr. Munuve, will create a Slido on which we are going to mention the several legal and policy frameworks. We identify the key legal and policy frameworks that guide the implementation of junior school. After you have mentioned them, then we will do some discussion. So welcome, Samuel, you guide us on this activity and give us a slide.
Thank you, Madam Rebecca. Once again, go to the chat box. The Slido is there, and just open the Slido. It will give you room to participate. Without opening the Slido, it would give you an option for you to participate in the Slido conversation. So just open the Slido. I've shared. And there will be a text box there inside the Slido. Just the way we do the others. I hope you can see. We are waiting for your response. Type your answers on the text box.
So let's mention them. I can see one person is typing. All those documents that you have been using to guide you. Education Act, and please specify it is the act of which year. That is good. Vision 2063, who is this? Osbogo. The vision is 2063. I'm also seeing in the chat. It is Vision 2010. Continue. 3 people are typing.
Kai, ino ithumburire.
Okay. I hope you can be able to hear me. I was saying that I have seen you have mentioned NEC Act, and it's important that you know that it is a NEC Act of 2012, KICD Act of 2013. Then you have mentioned the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Assets and Procurement Disposal of 2015. I can also see the TSC Act. I want somebody to volunteer and tell us what does the Basic Education Act say, or yes, what are the provisions for the Basic Education Act? Catherine Joka, I can see your hand is up. Can you tell us something about the Basic Education Act?
It gives.
Yes, go ahead. Somebody has muted you. Unmute yourself. Catherine, mention something. Unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. It gives the guidelines, especially about the formation of the BOM, the formation of the PA. Yeah.
Very good. It gives guidelines on the formation of the BOM and others. And also it talks about the provision of free compulsory education to all. So you are not supposed to deny any child education. Should not deny anybody from accessing education in your institution. So it talks about all the bodies and their responsibilities. That is the responsibility of the BOM and all other bodies, the responsibility of the County Director of Education, the responsibility of the Teacher Service Commission, all the responsibilities of the bodies that we have. So it's important that we have this Basic Education Act of 2013. And usually we say that it is the Bible of the education managers. The head of institutions should have a copy, either a hard copy or a soft copy, because you will need it to guide you in every aspect. It has everything to do with management of the institution. Yes, and the other framework that has been mentioned is the KICD Act. Who can tell us what it says? The KICD Act talks about what? KICD Act, you know the role of KICD. What is the work of KICD? Anybody? Yes, Rose, go ahead, Rose.
Yes, the KICD deals with the approval, evaluation of the course books that are used in all over the country, approval of the curriculum design. They are still the ones who sit down and design the curriculum, and then they approve for us the books that we require to work with.
Very good. And they also review the curriculum. And they are the
Over
ones,
time.
yes. So they are the ones who provides us with the curriculum that is to be implemented. And it is your responsibility to ensure that the curriculum that is being implemented in your school is the one that has been provided by AICD. And also the designs that she has talked about, ensure that they are the ones that are being used in your school. So you supervise and ensure that they are using the right curriculum, they are using the right designs. And we know that those designs are available online. They have been provided to us by KICD. If we go to to the KICD website, we can be able to download them. She has also talked about they are the ones who provides us with the course books. So we ensure that we have them. And again, TSC Act. Have we been referring to it, and what does it say? The TSC Act of 2013. What does it talk about? Can explain to us? I know you have been using it. Or what is it? Stipulates the work of the Teacher Service Commission. Who can tell us? Any volunteer? Very good. Florence, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. The TSC Act describes the roles of TSC in education, deals with employment. It talks about the legal procedures of even interdiction. It talks about employment of new teachers, registering teachers, provides the leaves, etc.
Very good. So the Teacher Service Act of 2012, it outlines the terms and conditions of employment of teachers. And I believe you have been referring to it. It talks about that it tells us that the teachers are recruited by the Teacher Service Commission. So the work of TSC is to recruit and even to deploy and also to discipline. So in any case, when we are disciplining our teachers, we should also ensure that we are involving the Teacher Service Commission. So it is important to know that this is an act that guides us in the management of teachers in our schools. I also saw someone mention Children's Act 2022. Anybody who can tell us what it says? Rose again.
Yes, it outlines the rights of the child in relation to provision of education, and it also outlines the responsibility of that child. So the rights of the child in alignment with their responsibility.
Okay, so mostly it talks about the rights of the learner. So we find that even those runners that we have in our schools, they have their own rights. And so it is a comprehensive framework for parental responsibility, the child care, and also protection. We are supposed to ensure that those runners are protected when they are in the school, because that is what the Children's Act says. And the parents should take responsibility to take care of their, so they are supposed to provide what those runners require, even as they come to our school. Then when they are in our schools, we should know that these runners have rights. And if we don't take care of their rights, then action can be taken against us because of this act. Any other acts that you would want to mention about it? Those are the main acts. Maybe somebody to mention about the Constitution. What does Constitution of Kenya 2010 say? Charles Joy, you have something to say.
Yes, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I was saying the Constitution of Kenya 2010, specifically on Article 53, stipulates on the law that every child has a right to free and compulsory basic education.
Very
it still
good.
continues on to outline on the national values and principles of governance. It still talks about promoting Kiswahili and English as national languages, which we use in our schools. So that is what I hand for it.
Very good. So also we should ensure that we follow the Constitution of Kenya. We ensure that we apply what the Constitution of Kenya says. He has talked about ensuring that it states that every learner has a right to a free compulsory education. So in case you do not allow a student or a learner to get education in your institution, you are not complying to the Constitution of Kenya. He has also talked about the Constitution of Kenya as talking about us to ensure that we strengthen the use of Kiswahili. So that is also a requirement. So we are supposed to ensure that from time to time Kiswahili is being used in our institutions. And also Article 10 of the Constitution, which talks about the that we are supposed to ensure that there is integrity. There is integrity, there is accountability. So all these things are in Article 10 of the Constitution. I think that discussion, we can stop it there. We move on to the next. I continue sharing the slides, but Catherine Joker's hand was up. Catherine, would you say what is in your mind? You can unmute yourself before we move on. So if she is not ready, we can continue with the second activity, whereby we are going to look at Junior School Management Committee. In this activity, we are going to use our Zoom chat box to identify the functions of a junior school management committee. We find that when we are managing our institutions, we do not manage alone. There is a committee that helps the education manager to manage the junior school. And this committee is made up of members. Maybe we can mention them. Who are the members of the junior school committee before we look at what they do? Who are the members of the junior school committee? Anyone? You want to mention them on the charts? Have we mentioned them anywhere? You can see the head teacher has been mentioned.
Hello.
Yes.
The members. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Who is speaking?
Yeah.
James.
James. Yeah. Subcommittee chair.
We have lost James. Rose, you want to attempt?
Okay, the committee complies of the chair. The chair JSS got from the former primary BOM. We have the PA chair. We have a representative of people living with the disability. We also have the head teacher as their secretary. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you, yes. So
Yeah.
at least there are supposed to be 7 members, and you have tried to highlight them. So the first member is the teacher representative. There has to be a teacher. Then we have a parent representative or the member of the community. And then a sponsor representative, a representative of persons with disability, a special interest group member, and then the chair of the BOM, and it should be just a member, because we know that these members are drawn from the primary school board. The chairman of the board also comes in as a committee member, but not as the chair. Then we have the head of the institution, who is the secretary of that committee. I hope we are together. So in your Zoom chat, let's identify the functions. Which are the functions of these junior school committee members? These members, when they meet, what issues do they discuss? We are going to use what? What are you using there? We are using the chat box. So go to the chat box and write your answer. Just write what you think are the functions, and then we will read them. One person has written, they handle discipline cases, they budget, they carry out the budgeting. Okay, they look at the budget after it has been prepared by the head of the institution. Development of junior school, identify the school needs, they manage the resources. And what else do they do? They help in planning. They advise on staffing. Thank you for those answers. They oversee prudent use of the resources. They mobilize resources. They ensure runners' welfare is taken care of. They promote the best interest of the institution. They ensure, they help in sourcing for resources. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you for those responses. They are quite a number. So we find that these members, the junior school management committee members, first of all, they promote the best interest of the institution. And therefore, they should work as a team. And you as the education manager, you should ensure that you work together with them. Everybody should work as a team so that the school succeeds. That is the chair of the junior school, the secretary, and all other members, they should work as a team, because their interest is to make sure that the school succeeds. So they need to ensure that they work together. So their interest is to ensure that quality education is being offered in that institution. They ensure that the education that is being offered in that school is holistic. That is, it is taking care of the needs of the learners, physical needs, social needs, and also the welfare of the learners are taken care of. The welfare of the teachers is taken care of, so that learning can take place. So they ensure that the infrastructure is in good condition and it is adequate. So the work of the junior school management committee is to ensure that the infrastructure is okay, so that learning can take place. Also, they should ensure that the facilities are safe and conducive for learning. And ensure and assure provision of proper and adequate physical facilities. They should also assure, they should keep on checking whether the infrastructure is in good condition installations of, for example, electricity is okay, so as to avoid accidents from occurring, because in case of anything happening in an institution, this committee is the first one to be asked, because it is their responsibility to ensure that the infrastructure is proper and also that the school is safe. They are also entitled in managing the affairs of the school. I have seen that you have also mentioned about staffing, because this committee, together with the head of the institution, they are the ones that advise the CEB. And then the CEB liaises with the Teacher Service Commission. And then the school is given a teacher in case the teachers are not enough. And then we find that from time to time, this committee, through the head of the institution, they are supposed to give reports to the relevant stakeholders, for example, to the Ministry of Education, informing them on how the school is moving on. And again, I didn't see anybody mention about guidance and counseling. Was there anybody who mentioned about guidance and counseling? We find that it is the responsibility of this junior school management committee to ensure that there is a strong guidance and counseling department in the school. They ensure that there is somebody who has been trained so as to handle these runners. I know that runners have very many issues. They come from communities, and when we find that there are so many issues that they go through, and they need this guidance and counseling. So we should ensure that in our schools we have this department. I can see also you have said that they identify the needs of the runners. They carry out needs assessment and fill the gaps they provide, and they mobilize resources. So the work of this committee is also to mobilize. It is to mobilize resources. So once in a while, they need to involve the, for example, the alumni. They're supposed to know those runners who went through their school and they are doing well, so that they give back to the society, and they come and, for example, assist the school with resources. So mobilizing resources you have mentioned, and other things that you have talked about. And I don't know whether I have looked at every aspect that you have mentioned. Anybody who wants to add? Somebody has said employee support staff. Yes, that is your responsibility. You ensure that you employ the support staff and you provide them with the required equipments for work. For example, you need to ensure that we have, if you have a feeding program, there is somebody cooking for those runners. If it is grounds work, we have somebody working on the ground. If it is a watchman, ensure that you employ a watchman. So it is important that you ensure that when you employ the support staff, ensure that you give them the equipments for work, and we ensure that we motivate them. We ensure that we motivate them. If it is the watchman, ensure that we are friendly to them. If it is the secretaries, ensure that you are friendly to them, because they are very important people. They are very important people, and they can give you very important information that you would want to know, even what is being planned about your school. If it is an arson attack, they will let you know before it happens. If it is thieves who are planning to get into the school, they will alert you. So it is important that they ensure that from time to time we visit those departments, and we look at the needs of and the welfare of those non-teaching staff. Let us be friendly to the staff, especially as the heads of institution. Although we have the committee, let us know when we are in the school, we are the ones that are representing the committee. And we are supposed to ensure that we take care of them. And also, I can see somebody has said, act as a link between the teacher and the parents. Whenever you want the parents to provide something for their runners, it is you to assist the teachers, make communication to those parents, to reach the parents so that they are provided with whatever they require. And also support the teachers. The teachers need to be supported to be able to work. I can see James has said that we need to motivate the teachers. The teachers needs to be motivated. Those who are performing well need to be rewarded. Let us reward them so that they can keep working hard. We reward them. We take them for team building so that they're able to work as teams. I don't know whether there is somebody who wants to add something. Anything that we might not have talked about? And you feel that it is their responsibility. So we find that they are supposed to perform any other function, facilitate the implementation of its function under the Act, that Act of Basic Education Act 2013. They are supposed to do any other function that will be required by the stakeholders. And then the resources, they are supposed to ensure that they are managed well. This will be headed by the head of the institution. Every school has resources. Every school has resources, even though the resources are little or they are not. We know the schools are not the same. Let us ensure that the resources are well managed. They are being utilized in the right way without wastage, and bringing out the maximum results. We ensure that we are producing maximum results using the resources that we have. Because if the resources are not managed well, then the programs of the school may not be able to run well. So it is important that we ensure that the resources are being managed well. Catherine, you want to say something?
No, please.
Okay.
Not now.
Okay. So we need to ensure that we also engage the community. We live in harmony with the community. And how are we going to ensure that the school is living in harmony with the community? By ensuring that we are engaging them. If it is, for example, those support staff that we are talking about, the watchman, the groundsman, these people do not require very high qualification, and therefore we can get them from around, from the community. You don't have to go and get them from where you come from. Yes, so it is important that you get them from around to create a good relationship with the community. And that way, they will be able to work with you well. They are the ones who gives you the runners. If you want to have a high enrollment, ensure that you work closely with the people. If you want them to be telling you issues, or those people who are not planning good things about your school, ensure that you get those people, employ them in your school and be friendly to them. You will be getting information. So I want us to move on to the next activity. The next activity, activity 3, which is on quality assurance. Quality assurance and institutional-based quality assurance. And this activity, quality assurance focuses on the 5 thematic areas. And these thematic areas are in that diagram. I hope it is clear on your side. And these thematic areas are 1, leadership and management. And these are all the activities that involve leadership and management. Then the other thematic area is on curriculum organization and implementation. All the aspects that focuses on curriculum organization. Then we have the physical facilities and infrastructure. Then we have another thematic area on learners' welfare. And the other one is on community involvement. Now, the instruction of this activity, we are supposed to identify the key focus areas for 1, institutional-based quality assurance component. For example, we have the leadership and management and all these others. There are 5 of them. So my colleague will put you into breakout rooms. In those breakout rooms, you will be required to discuss one of these thematic areas. If it is leadership and management, since we have said that it is assessment, how you are supposed to assess, your institution, what you have put in place or what has been put in place, or what you are required to put in place in terms of leadership and management. In curriculum organization, there are aspects that you are supposed to ensure that they are in place. So those components, you are going to give the examples. You are going to provide relevant examples for the components of the area that you will be given. Then, when we come back to plenary, you will present your findings in the plenary. So when you get to the breakout rooms, we will have the chairman, we will have the secretary, and the members. When you are put into the group, please don't go back to the plenary before others. And ensure when you are there, you contribute. You contribute. Let us not go and remain silent. Let us not have silent listeners in the group. Ensure that the chairman, you mobilize each and everybody to give points. So I want to welcome my colleague to guide us on how we are going to move. So when you get to the groups, ensure that you discuss about if it is leadership and management, go and talk about what is supposed to be put in place. If it is a vision of the school, the mission, all those things. When you go to community involvement, how are you going to ensure that the community is being involved in your institution? Learners' welfare, how is the learners' welfare going to be taken care of in your school? The physical facility and infrastructure, the same case, and also the curriculum organization. Welcome, Samuel.
Thank you, Madam Rebecca. Once again, I will give further instructions for that thematic areas. Group 1 will handle leadership and management. Group 2, curriculum organization and implementations. Group 3, physical facilities and infrastructure. Group 4, learners' welfare. And then Group 5, the last group, community involvement. The same question is on the chat box and the respective groups. So once you check on the chat box, you'll see your group as well as you'll see the question. I would like now to break you into breakout rooms. And kindly once you get there, don't just be silent. Discuss. Thank you. Just join the
So welcome back. I want us to start right away, and we are not going to start in any order. So I will just call any group. So we can start with group 5 because that is where I was. Maybe they can enjoy that before others. Lucy, are you Lucy? Lucy, are you back? Lucy Wajiru was our, yes.
Yes. On runners' welfare, how to promote runners' welfare, we have come up with the following points. 1, are you hearing me?
Yes, we are hearing you. You are very clear.
Okay. Yeah. The first thing is we should establish a guidance at the counseling department, which will be dealing with all the runners' affairs. In this department, the second point, we should have a person in charge, so a teacher who is in charge of that department. Then in the same department, we should have a schedule, that is the third point, or a plan of activities so that we can know, we cannot have correction or things piling up. So we should have a plan, a schedule of how counseling will be going on in the school. Then we should also have put in place student leadership and assign them duties, and they should know their responsibilities. In this way, they will help in the promoting runners' welfare. We should have patrons and matrons in different clubs and societies. These clubs, these patrons and matrons will be in charge of the clubs, and then the students can report to them. We should have adequate clean water and sanitation facilities. This will help runners not to on the health issues of the runners. We can also have resource persons who we invite to come and be with our runners in case of a need that we needed to be addressed by an external person. We should also involve runners in development of the school menu. Not only the runners, the school community, that is both runners, teachers, and the parents, they should be part of the development of the school menu. In those schools where we have a feeding program. The next point is establishing a suggestion box where people are free to put their suggestions, and then we can have, after a particular given period, the box is opened and the department on children welfare can look at the whatever has been put and come up with ways of mitigation. Then we should encourage personal hygiene of the runners, especially those in boarding schools. We should ensure that where their sleeping areas are well kept. We should also encourage an open forum with runners once in a while, where children are just given an opportunity to speak out what they feel about their school, about anything. That way you get points on any areas that may require adjustment. We should also encourage co-curricular activities by ensuring that facilities are available, and also children are encouraged to join different activities. And the last one, we have talked of peer counseling, where we should have peer counselors who will be dealing with issues, and this way we shall have runners' welfare well taken care of. Those are the points that we have come up with. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Lucy. Let's appreciate Lucy and the team. Let us appreciate them. We go to the chat, clap for them, write a good comment, go to the reactions. You can give them thumbs up like Rose is doing. Yes, thank you, Birha, for appreciating them. We have also received those appreciations. So thank you very much. That was team group what, Rose? Group 5. That was okay. That was a good presentation.
Thank you.
On runners, welfare, is it? You were looking at the runners' welfare. Yes, and they have exhausted the points. There. What were you looking at, Lucy? Community involvement. Let's move on to the next group. Group 4. Group 4 was the team leader, the chair. Group 4. Catherine Joka, go ahead. If you are in that group, just go on. Tell us the area you were looking at. Your hand is up, Catherine.
Yes, we are looking at community involvement.
Community involvement. Go
Yes,
ahead.
The points we came up with are, number one, the community can bring together the alumni to help in resource mobilization. The community leaders, for example, the MPs can provide resources to the schools. For example, the laptops, the computers. The community the community religious leaders can provide spiritual guidance and also guidance and counseling to the learners. The local administration can also be involved in helping to secure our schools and also check on the security of the facilities. The community can also be involved in providing free labor to the school. For example, when we are connecting the water to our schools, the members of the local community can be involved in digging the trenches. Another way we can involve the communities, they can participate in school events, for example, during the crossing assemblies whereby we present learners with awards. They can provide the presents and also present the presents to the best performing learners. Also, another involve the communities, they can donate the items for school projects. For example, nowadays in the CBC in Sanford, we are having projects like chicken rearing and rabbit rearing. They can provide the chickens, the rabbits, and other materials needed for the construction of the hatches. Another way is the community can also be involved in sponsoring children, the learners who do well, to go to higher levels of education by donating finances needed and materials needed. Another way is the community can also assist to curb disciplinary cases and being involved in guidance and counseling to our learners. The community can also act as resource persons. For those who have done well, maybe the young ones, they can be peer teachers in the schools. Another way is you can involve the communities in risk management. For example, when a fire breaks out like it did in Hillside, and we are really sorry for that, it's the community who came to put out the fire. So you need to have good relations with the community. They also provide us with learners, and they also provide the basic needs the learners need when they come to school. Those are the points we came up with.
Thank you very much, Catherine, for that good presentation. Let's appreciate them. You can write something on the charts, they will read, you can grab for them, you can react in the reaction section. That was very good, a good presentation. She has given examples, real life examples. That is on community involvement. So, and also we should also ensure that the runners also are engaged in the community. And we allow them to participate in the community, for example, Sometimes they can be involved in cleaning the community, making the environment clean. Sometimes they can visit the market if there is a market and they do the cleaning. This will also be a way of carrying out CSR, community service learning. We know that in junior school, this is a method that is being used in teaching. So I think they have talked about parents' participation. They should ensure that the parents are being invited for meetings. And these parents, when they are invited for meetings, you discuss issues that are concerning their runners, the challenges that the runners that are facing. And if you require any assistance from them, you ensure that you provide the parents, you work together with the parents so that they provide. And she has given us even an example where we should ensure that we are living in that community. We are having a good relationship with the neighbors. Because they come in handy when you have a problem. For example, yes, we should ensure that they participate. Let's move on to the next group. We are in group 3. Group 3.
Yes, madam.
Welcome, physical facilities and infrastructure. What are you going to do?
Yes, I want to welcome my secretary, Madam Florence Kinya, to take us through.
Okay,
Madam.
thank you, Chair, and the members. First of all, I want to apologize of I got lost in a moment, but I came back. And what we have captured is that the school facilities, first of all, the environment of the school must be child-friendly in terms of having good and adequate facility. They should also be safe for use or in good condition. Not only adequacy, but also they should be in good condition, matching with the level of the learners or the age-based level of these learners. Also, the facilities must provide the safety of the runners. That is now these facilities when the runners are using, there should be no fear of any injuries. It is very important that these physical facilities are adequate enough for each runner and they are accommodative in terms of their health and so on. Please, I'm sorry if I've not captured everything. I got a network failure. Thank you.
In addition, hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Sorry, I was muted. Continue, add. You want to add something?
We talked about ventilation. They should be well ventilated. They also should have doors and windows opening from outside as matters of safety. Yeah, those are some of the additions that I wanted to put into our group.
Yes. Thank you, Charles, for adding to those points. And I know each one of you know the reason why the doors should open from outside. And then they should not have grills. The windows should not have grills. And they should be wide enough so that in the case of fire, like the example that has been given by those we are presenting on the runners can be able to run out of for example, the dorm. If it is the classroom, they are able to run out. And also we should educate the runners. We educate the runners. We can carry out, if it is fire drills, let them know what they are supposed to do when there is fire. Because if they don't know, what will happen is that instead of running away, they will start hiding themselves. If it is the dormitory, let them have enough space. Let them be spaced enough. Let us use the right spacing so that the runners can be able to escape in case of danger. It is good to have safety. That is why we have grills. But now we find that it is better to have them alive than to maybe sometimes we should consider taking care of their rights. We should ensure that the doors are opening towards out, they are opening outwards, and then the windows do not have doors, so that the runners can be able to escape in case of fire outbreak. So again, we have talked about adequate facilities, that is okay. And then we know that in our schools we have runners with disability. So physical facilities, the infrastructure should be disability friendly. We ensure that if it is ramps, they are there for those with physical disability, so that they are able to use the facilities well. The school also, we should ensure that it has a fence. Let us ensure that it has a fence. I know our schools we have done very beautiful gates, but then we also need a fence to secure our school so that intruders don't get into the school from any other point. Let us have a gate. Let us prioritize the fence. And if we have the finances, let us have a watchman at the gate who is watching and who is moving around the school. If we have those schools that are boarding, let us ensure that there is somebody who is moving around so that in case of anything, if there is a fire, they can alert us. So ensure that the physical facilities are in the right condition. Then we ensure that we have adequate sanitation, the toilets are enough, we have a field, proper housing. We ensure that all that is taken care of. We are in group 2. Group 2, you are welcome to make your presentation on curriculum organization and implementation. In terms of curriculum organization and interpretation, what are you supposed to ensure or to put in place?
Thank you. The secretary group 2, and for us to ensure that there is proper curriculum organization and implementation, the schools should ensure that there is proper data collection, whereby we know the number of learners and the teachers and also the support staff, also the physical facilities in the school. We should also ensure that the teachers have the professional documents that are required for their teaching. Monitoring should also take place in the school to ensure that there is the learning and teaching is taking place. And the school should also ensure that the standards in the school are improved by ensuring that teaching and learning is taking place, assessments are undertaken, analysis is also done, and many others. Also, there should be feedback. There should be feedback from the teachers and also the parents. Also, the school should ensure that their co-curriculum activities are taking place in the school. Time management should also be observed, whereby the teachers will attend lessons as it is in the timetable. Teachers should also ensure that the learners arrive early in the school, and also their departure time is also observed. Also, the transition of lessons from one lesson to the other should also take place seamless. There should also be parental engagement, because the parents are very important stakeholders to ensure that they avail learners to school. They also should provide the learning materials for their learners which are required, and also follow up to ensure that absenteeism does not take place in the school. Also, the school should ensure that the learning facilities and infrastructure are available and in good condition for learning and teaching to take place. Also, continuous improvements should also take place in learning outcomes and also ensure that learning outcomes are realized. Also, for the school to learn, there should be adequate staff. That is the teachers and also the support staff. And also ensure that supervision, teachers are supervised, they are observed, and many other things can also be done to ensure that the implementation is taking place for the curriculum. That is all we had in group 2.
Thank you, Royce, for that wonderful presentation. Let's appreciate them. Let's make good comments on the charts so that they can also be happy they have done a wonderful job. Royce and group 2, that was good. You have given us a presentation on curriculum implementation. You have talked about having adequate number of teachers, ensuring that the teachers are using the right curriculum, the one that is from KICD, the one that is approved by KICD, and also ensure that there is a timetable. The timetable should be in place, and then the school should adhere to that timetable. The school should carry out assessment. The school develops the assessment policies, and you supervise. Ensure that those assessments are being marked by your teachers, because sometimes they will administer the assessment and give you results. Let us ensure that they mark, not only to manufacture results without marking. Let us ensure that they are marking. Let us ensure that we set targets, and these teachers should work upon achieving the targets in various learning areas. And then you supervise the development of the professional documents, the schemes of work, lesson plans, lesson notes, to ensure that they are being kept. Thank you, Royce, for that good presentation. We have group 1 winding up, and they were looking at leadership and management. Now, issues to do with leadership, issues to do with management. Which ones and how are you going to ensure that they are in a place? Group members, who is the chair? Who is the secretary of group 1 to take us through?
Good afternoon. My name is Mercy. In our group, we looked at leadership and management, and we based on roles of a leader in terms of putting up the institutional-based quality and assurance. And these are the points that we came up with. The first one is to plan for the institutional-based quality and assurance activities. Number 2, it is identifying a team, or that is the quality and assurance committee. And then we had assigning responsibilities. This is giving responsibilities to the members of that team. And then we also said that it is a role of the management to identify the areas that needs to be assessed by the quality and assurance team. We also talked about coordinate implementation of the assessment program. And then we said that they should give notification of assessment to ensure to the staff. Also to guide the IBQA team to analyze, report, and develop the action plan. We also came up with receiving and consolidating assessment reports. And finally, but not the least, to provide resources needed for the institutional-based quality and assurance. Thank you. Hello.
Yes, go ahead. You are still on.
Yeah, I'm done. I said thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's appreciate Mase and the team, group 1. We go to the chats, clap for them. Yes. We also go to the reactions so that they can feel appreciated. They have done a good job. That was a good presentation on leadership and management. And in addition to what you have said, anybody who wants to add something on leadership? Other things that maybe we need to put in place. Nyakeo, mute yourself. Yes. Nyakeo, Mase.
Yes.
Mute yourself. Mute yourself. We can hear some noise in the background. Catherine, you want to add to what she has talked about? Catherine, you know this is what you do in terms of leadership. Anything that you want to add? If there is nothing.
I was appreciating and saying she has done good presentation.
Good, okay. Then it is the responsibility of the management, that is the leader, to ensure that we have the legal documents. See, tuliongea kuhusu legal documents that guides you in management of the institutions. We should ensure that they are available for anybody to refer to them. Even when you are disciplining the teachers, let them know whatever they have done, you are disciplining them, guided by whatever legal documents. Then also those legal documents, they are the ones that will be guiding you in every activity that you have to do. If it is the procurement and asset disposal act, it will guide you when you're procuring items. Then I don't know whether you talked about regular meetings. You should be inviting your committee members. Si tumesema you have a committee, you're not managing the institution alone. You have the committee members. Ensure that you invite them for regular meetings so that they give you ideas, so that you're able to run that school. And when they meet, you are the secretary. Ensure that you maintain minutes. You should also have a parents association so that the parents also are brought together. So this parents association will help you in mobilizing resources. Then we have AGM meetings. Yes, annual general meetings should be held. And then also as part of leadership and management, you should ensure that you register your school. Is your school registered? Yes. When the enrollment changes, you know that you're supposed to register your school again. Registration of schools to reflect the current enrollment. You ensure that you are keeping records. All records must be kept. And you ensure that you have all the documents of the school. For example, there is the certificate, RAD certificate and registration certificate. If it is the title deed of the RAD where the school is, you should have it as the head of the institution. You have talked a lot about IBQA, even forming the committee, that is okay. And as part of leadership, ensure that you have the school rules and the runners are aware of those school rules so that they are able to follow those school rules. And again, a school should have a strategic plan. A strategic plan is a plan of the activities or where you want the school to be within a period, for example, of 5 years. So it is important 3 to 5 years you prepare a strategic plan, and this strategic plan will guide every activity that is being done in that school. This strategic plan has the vision of the school, it has the mission of the school, it has the goals, what your targets are, yes, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of academic achievement, you state them, and then you guide the teachers towards achieving the vision of that school. So those are the many points that they have discussed, and they were well discussed by the presenter, and maybe lastly, the last thing we will look at is the extended running activity. This extended running activity is on quality assurance, what we have just discussed, and you have already done it, and you have uploaded in the portal. So we are going to look at it. It was asking a quality assurance system is meant to increase customer confidence and institutions' credibility, while also improving work processes and efficiency. And it enables the institution to better compete with others. Identify one of the institutional-based quality assurance thematic areas. Those thematic areas that we have looked at, that is leadership and management. We have looked at learner welfare. We have looked at community involvement, curriculum implementation and organization, physical infrastructure. Now you are supposed to identify one of them and then explain the strategies that you will put in place to ensure it is achieved in your school. So we have discussed what should be in place in terms of leadership and management, like, for example, having the legal documents, having that IBQA committee, assigning them the responsibilities, regular BOM meetings, maintaining minutes, all that. So if you chose leadership and management, that is what you discussed. So if you did not discuss that, you go and review, and then you upload it again. The issue to do with runner welfare, we have discussed about taking care of the runners' welfare, guidance and counseling committee, strengthening guidance and counseling, developing a school menu if you have a feeding program, provision of adequate clean water, personal hygiene, all those things are supposed to be discussed. If your area is on runner welfare, if it is on community involvement, talk about what that group has taken us through. That is on parents' participation, on how the runners can be engaged in the community, on how we are supposed to ensure that we are living in harmony with the community. If you chose the issue on curriculum implementation and organization, they has taken us through how we are supposed to ensure that the curriculum that is being used is the right curriculum. We are supervising, we are ensuring that they are preparing professional documents. That is the lesson plans, the schemes of work. We have a timetable in place, and this timetable is being followed. There is assessment, and the assessments are being monitored. If you talk of physical facilities, ensure that you talk about the physical facilities. That is, they are supposed to be adequate. They are supposed to follow the right. They are supposed to be adequate, adhere to the school safety, and then also there should be proper writing, all those things that are related to physical facilities. So I believe that is what you uploaded. If it is not what you uploaded, then you are allowed to go and revise and then upload. Because I believe you all have submitted your work. So I think I should stop there and welcome my colleague, Mr. Barakwang, to take us through reflective journals. And then also the most significant change, so that we be given another link, we go to the closing ceremony. And thank you very much for listening, for your active participation, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Madam Rebecca. Can we give reactions of appreciation? I want to see appreciations. Members? Yes. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Good. Lois, you are okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Right. Now, somebody was saying possibly we shall find ourselves in another group together, and possibly you might not have another group because we have come to the end of the interaction online. What is remaining is for you to submit now the course requirements. And the course requirements, so with the course requirements, there are actually things which you are expected to submit, so that at least for you to actually meet the requirement of the course, then there are certain things which you are supposed to submit. What we know is that you have already scored 100% in syllabus-based learning. You have scored 100%, and that is a requirement. Then the next one, which of course in the syllabus-based requirement, that you are lucky because you have already covered the 6 units. So with the 6 units, okay. So thank you. So thank you. So I was actually telling you that there are certain requirements that you are required for you to fulfill the requirement for certification for this particular course. And for code 1, they have already scored and get to know that we have distinction, credit, and pass, and the certificate with transcript. So one that you have already done very well for each one of you is the syllabus-based from unit 1 to unit 6. Then the next one, which is remaining, of course, e-portfolios are also there, which of course we are still waiting for you. And then the next thing, which of course I want to take you through, is a reflective channel. The reflective channel is also a requirement, and I'll be able to tell you how you are going to take you through. Then the next one, and get to know, don't submit these things when you are not ready. You prepare until when you are set for it. Otherwise, like most significant change, again, which somebody will take you through immediately after I finish, then you are also supposed to make sure you are done with it before you submit, because once you submit, then there is no, you cannot review. So let me share the reflective channel, and you can be able to see what you are required to do. I wanted, so you will, my interest is the rubrics which we follow, because the criteria and the levels are that you are supposed to actually be measured against are, we are having 4 levels, just like rubrics, the CPC way. And then we are looking at the depth of reflection, the connection to the learning, consistency, and personal growth. So as you are in level 1, that is the lowest, where you are possibly scoring 1. And then when you are at level 4, then that is exemplary. And therefore, usually where we can say a meeting point where we say you are okay is level 3. So when you start from level 3, then that is quite okay. So whatever you are supposed, actually, I will still give you the assignment, then you can be able to get to that. And I think the best thing is to get into the assignment. Then as we look at the rubrics, you are having a connection together with the assignment. Then this is the assignment which we require you to perform. So it is better for me to go through this assignment. And then now I go into the rubrics, because now you can be able to relate with the assessment or the marking. Now, in this reflective channel, it says reflective channels are personal records. And it has begun, even when you started, there are certain things you have documented. There are personal records of participants' learning experience. All the participants must submit a reflective channel. That is a course requirement with insightful linkage of theory to practice. What you have learned that we have taught you in form of knowledge, and now the skills that you have applied is what we have now say insightful linkage of theory to practice. The course participants channel entries will be assessed based on the depth of the reflection. I think those are now the criterions that we are going to use. How well they relate them to their learning experience, the consistency of the entries, and the evidence of professional growth demonstrated throughout the course. So what are you noticing here? You are supposed to provide evidence of any achievement. Most of us, whenever we completed some task, we were scored. We receive even some of the some certificates. So those are some of the evidence of growth. So now reflective channel guiding questions. This you are having 2 questions that you are supposed to respond to this. And the first question, you are supposed to have 250 words, which requires you to describe your personal learning journey, highlighting your key insights from ESL for JS course. For this course, and that is why some of you, when we were asking you, what are your take home? But we are requiring certain scenarios or certain incidents that you have picked on a particular concept, you have gone to school to apply, and possibly it has resulted to a kind of results. And you know, this is something, it is a course that you go and involve other people. It is something which, you know, as a leader, it is not something which you can do alone. You work with people, and you work using people. And therefore you are expected now to give a description that with 250 words, describing your journey, having gone through this course. What are some of the things that they are becoming a milestone in terms of your achievement? Then the second point, describe a practical situation where you have applied the knowledge and skills acquired from this particular course. We also require you to give 250 words. So once you have made this description, it's like a kind of you are sort of showcasing the kind of achievement you made, the transformation you have also experienced, particularly the second one, where you have acquired knowledge and skills now, you have applied in your institution, and therefore you can pinpoint that there is a relationship between this achievement you have made in your school and the course you have undertaken, is our second point. The first one is anything you have actually underwent through this that you find it is a milestone in your life with a description of 250 words. Now, having done that, then now, when we come as facilitators to assess you, then these are what we are looking for. In the 2 cases, we are looking for the depth of reflection. I hope you are seeing the criteria there, the depth of reflection, the connection to learning, the consistency, and the personal growth. So you will find that is where how we are going to put your marking in the two cases and mark it out of 100. And therefore, the level of achievement now is now, I said that usually, and this is where I'm always good at rubrics, is for you, the starting point of the level of achievement is level 3. Now it depends. When you want to do less, then you go to level 2 and 1. When you want to do more than normal, then you go to level 4, where now you have exceeded the expectation. So for instance, in the depth of reflection, what are you expected to do in level 3? Reflections are insightful and show good depth. Yes. Then 2, I'm still looking at that so that at your own time you can be able to have this, because we are sharing this. These are actually in the is it in the app? You can be able to get this in the app. But I wanted to explain that. Now, connection to learning. There is good connection between reflections and the course content. Whatever you are actually describing about anything, then it is related to Unit 1 to Unit 6. Consistency. We are looking at anything that you are presenting, that there is at least a progression of an achievement. Then when we go to personal growth, there is clear evidence of personal growth. You are never the same. Up to where you are, now you are not the same, because it looks that there are certain things and there is a change in you. So I think that is where I believe I can now leave at that. So can I get a response of anybody? Because I've already looked at the question and I've come to the rubrics so that I relate to the question. Yes. Okay, anybody who has something to just a bit. Sorry.
Okay, members, I would like to introduce one of the co-facilitators, that is Martin Bogo, to take over the MSc part of it. Karibu Bwana Martin.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Hello, Team Kirinyaga. Asante sana Sam. Thank you, my colleague Rebecca and Barkwang for the presentations. So I know it is almost towards the end of the day, so I'm not going to belabor a lot, but I want to start off from where Mr. Barkwang left, so that I want you to really get it very clear in that, if you remember very well during the training, we went through the assessment framework for the ESL for JS, which has 3 things: self-paced online learning, which you have to score 100, and the e-portfolio we do the e-portfolio for assessment purposes, and then the reflective journal. And now the reflective journal is like a story. So you write it just like a story, answering the 2 questions that Mr. Barkwang has talked about. Now, luckily for cohort 2 participants, when you see, we say that you have clocked 100%, it means self-paced and e-portfolio you've covered already. What is remaining is the reflective journal. So those 3 are what will be assessed and put in your transcript and certificate. It is those 3 that will help us know whether you have achieved a distinction, you have achieved credit or a pass. And as I said during the training, I am always associated with winners. So I think this will be either more of credits and more of distinction and no pass. If you agree with me, give a thumbs up. Piga tu makofi mahali virtually. So I want to now talk about so until the point where Mr. Barkwang has discussed, hizo zote is for assessment purposes. Reflective journal itakuwa marked na ikuwe assessed na upewe a grade. E-portfolio itakuwa marked na upewe grade na iwekwe kwa transcript. Same to self-paced online learning. But now what I want to speak about is something we call the most significant change story. Someone will see that there is a relationship. They are sort of similar with the reflective journal. The only difference is that the purpose of the reflective journal is for assessment, while the purpose for the most significant story is for research. Remember, I said during the training when giving the introduction is that the reason we are not taking this course to the whole country is because we want to learn a lot before we roll it out. How do we learn? We learn from you, from the surveys, and now finally from the most significant change story. So I want to just highlight it and what it talks about. So if you can see your screen, the most significant change story is literally a story that you're writing. It's a narration. We want it to be like a composition. But here we want you to introspect, look into yourself and ask yourself, and the questions are here, there are 3. We want to ask you, what was the most significant change that took place in your school because you took part in the Effective School Leadership for JS training program? 300 words. So that's the largest question. We want you to tell us, what is that? There may have been so many changes, but what is that most significant? What is that one that is the most, ambayo unaona, if you never came to this course, if the CD would have never selected you to join this course, that change would have never happened in your school. So we want you to state the change and discuss it, describe it. Describe it in a very authentic manner, because hata kama it's not for assessment, it is going to help us see whether there is a link between the cause and actual change in practice. Because all of us here are CBC practitioners, where we say that a learner is supposed to acquire knowledge, skills, attitudes that can be able to inform their decision-making, but also their practice day to day. So for you, this course was intended to make you acquire knowledge, skills, and attitudes that help you to implement better the CBC curriculum at JS level, but generally in your whole school. So question 1 asks you, what was that most significant change? So describe it. Kabisa, describe it. Then in question 2 is where you now tell us why you think that change is the most significant. That is why it is asking, why do you consider this change to be the most significant? Kwa nini hiyo change ndio the most significant out of the many others that may have been? 100 words. So there is just the reason. Because in question 1, you have really described it, you have articulated it. In question 2, you're telling us why you consider it. Then in question 3, we want to see a relationship. Sasa, hiyo change umetuambia na umesema it is very significant. How does it really pair up with any of the causes or any of the lessons that you learned between Unit 1 and Unit 6? So that is why it's asking, how, if at all, has your participation in the ESL for JS training program contributed to this? So what we are trying to say is that tie that most significant change to either a topic, a subtopic, or something that you covered within Unit 1 to Unit 6, so that you say, if I hadn't learned that, no, you actually reverse it. It's because this change is due to the fact that in Unit 3, we learned about learner support programs. And therein, I learned about parental engagement and empowerment. and how the facilitators maybe articulated it helped me now go to the back to my school and engage parents. And you describe how you engage them differently from how you were engaging them before. So remember, this most significant change story is compulsory, but is not for assessment. So then you may find then that that's why I was saying there is a relationship with the reflective journal. But remember, the reflective journal, maswali ni mawili, na it is for assessment. Here, we want you to write a composition, write a story. So it should not be in bullets. It should not be in, it should be in continuous prose, paragraph format. So question 1 again, quickly. What was the most significant change in your school? Why do you consider it as a most significant change? And then how has your participation in ESL contributed to that change? In cohort 1, just to tell you how some people were missing the point, is that they used to say, I even got now a school feeding program. I brought in, I engaged the community, brought in stakeholders. But then when they come to question 3, they say, if it was not for USAID, if it was not for NGO X, so they don't even mention the ESL for JS. Now that's where they miss it. Because you have to really tie it in to one of the courses, one of the subtopics or subsections within the course. So mine was that, just to help you understand that now that you completed the self-paced online learning and the e-portfolio, mumebakisha vitu mbili. Mumebakisha reflective journal na most significant change, na zote zitafanyika as soon as from today. But to echo what Mr. Barkwang was saying, because this is a story, lazima you have to have internalized it, planned it. Don't go and feel it hurriedly. Take your time, feel it when you feel you are ready. You have the notes somewhere, labda umeandika, you can write it out somewhere in a book or in a A4 or in a foolscap. Write it out so that you have, it is composed well. Then when you go to your phone, it's just typing. I hope with that, then you will be able then to, because at the end of the day, these most significant change stories will be looked at by our research team. And if then the change that is significant is found to be authentic, si ati imepikwa, people, the research team may visit your school just to verify, again, from a research perspective. Now, these are the things that grow the portfolio of your school also. When you are visited and actually we see that the change was not just a story, but the change is actually there. And your teachers have even seen the change. So with that, I think Sam will guide you that all these reflective journal and MSc stories, they are found in the community hub. But Sam will be here to provide you direction and guide you appropriately. Lastly, before I hand over to Barkwang, it's just to again say that I appreciate the effort that the team Kirinyaga put in, the sacrifice to be able to finish as the second county. I am honored and humbled to have been part of your team, and that's why I made it to this part of the day. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you, Bwana Martin. Okay, I would like participants to put your videos on so that we can take a screenshot. Before I hand over to Mr. Barkwang, put your video on. I would like to take a screenshot.
This is what we call a virtual group photo. So please put your photo on, a video on, sorry.
Rose Bogo, put your video on. Bilha, Anton Mwangi, kindly stay muted, then you put your videos on. Stay muted, then you put your videos on. I've not said you unmute yourself.
And then remain still. Those who are moving, don't shake, remain still.
Nyamu, Jarusa, Marianne, Jackson, Everin. James Mututa, kindly put on your video.
Maybe others are where they cannot put on, so don't mind. Just consider the threshold.
Just proceed, Sam. Just proceed.
Okay, Bwana Martin.
Those faces are very serious for photos.
I will capture them now.
Sam, piga hapo sasa. Piga at that point.
Thank you, thank you.
So, are you done? You're not counting 1, 2, 3.
1,
2, 3.
It's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. So thank you, members. We've been able to concentrate up to this particular moment. I think we have to move to the next forum, and therefore I may not be able to close this because there is a official closing. Martin, wherever you are, I know the other day yesterday we were together, and now you are very far away, but thank you for joining us. So possibly let me leave Sami to give us direction. There is a sharing of a link so that we join the others. Otherwise, thank you so much. And thank you for your cooperation. I've enjoyed being a team leader. I've not interacted with you, but one day we are going to meet physically. Thank you and God bless you.
Okay, members, for the closure session, there is a link I've just pasted on the chat box. Kindly click on the link, it will take you automatically to the other meeting for the closure section. Kila mtu sasa unaweza hama to the next meeting. On the chat box, there is a Zoom, there is a link. Just click the link. You will register once, then you join the other meeting. Again, once if you are lost, can you check on the WhatsApp? Still the link is there on the WhatsApp. Go to the WhatsApp again.